So in this quick video, I want to show you, it's not really going to be a quick video, and if you hang around to the end, I'll share a really cool surprise with you that you do not want to miss. But essentially in this video, I'm going to show you how you can implement AI into your business in the correct manner, because a lot of people will use AI and it does more harm than good. And that makes sure, so you have to make sure that your bots are trained, it has the knowledge base, it sounds like a human, because the reality is you can only make that first impression once. And if someone interacts with your brand and it's all muddy and the conversation doesn't flow, it's going to do more harm than good. So you want to start off strong and you've got to make sure you do it right. And in this training, I'm going to show you exactly how you can avoid those mistakes and how you can actually leverage the power of AI. So why is AI actually important? Well, really quick, AI, it doesn't take days off. It doesn't require a massive salary. It doesn't complain. It knows, it has memory that works, and it performs constantly. And if you're not getting involved, you're going to be missing out. So in this video, I'm going to show you a full breakdown. I'm going to give some tips on how to use AI and where it's good to use it. But also I'll give you some tips on some like marketing strategies and whatnot, because AI, where it works very well is in the conversion side of things. So interacting with leads or prospects or viewers on the website. It does help in terms of getting the leads, but this is more focused on the actual conversion, although I will explain in detail some strategies from the top of the funnel. And that's what it's all about. Any good business will work on a funnel system. So the top of the funnel, you've got to send traffic, i.e. interested or, people that are aware of your brand, into the funnel, and then that's where the AI does its magic. And this is kind of like a 10,000 foot view as to what that would look like. So you got your social media, you got email marketing, cold outreach, Google, Facebook, whatever it is, and you fire them into your funnel, and that's where the AI kicks in and makes a big difference. So without further ado, let's jump in and show you what it's all about. So here's the picture. This is one component of AI that you do not want to miss out on, and this is the inbound voice agent. Now, these are fantastic if you can't get on the phone. Maybe people are calling you in the evenings, maybe it's the weekend, maybe when your line is busy, or basically you're sending them to old, outdated technology, which is voicemail. And the reality is people don't actually leave voicemails because people think no one actually listens to them. So people want to be acknowledged. They want to feel like they're heard. Otherwise, the inquiry loop is left open, and they seek to close that loop. And if they don't hear anything back, they'll just jump to the next person. And if they respond back faster than you, your competition is going to get the sale. So it's imperative that you have some sort of mechanism in there to talk to them like a real person and interact with them, and don't let that lead slip through the cracks, which is a case a lot of the times. So studies online show that in the home improvement industry, which we kind of focus on, are tradespeople, realistically, people that are maybe on the tools and don't want to have to stop every 2 minutes to answer a phone, but also don't want to miss out on the leads and the opportunity. This is perfect for it, but essentially the system can work for anyone. But this is where we've seen the greatest success. That's where we have the case studies, essentially. So on average, about 4 calls are missed per week. If you multiply that for 4 weeks, that's 12 calls missed per month, and that's 144 calls missed per year. Now, let's say you have a 25% conversion rate, which is quite low considering they're inbound leads, so they're high intent leads. So that could be a lot more, but let's just say for at 25%. So if you're missing 25%, that's 36 sales that you're missing out on each year, just because they're going to a voicemail that they're not even using. Now, if your order value is $10,000, maybe you're a window and door supplier, maybe you're a pool installer, maybe you're a roofer. Let's just say your average order value is $10,000. That means you're missing out on $360,000 a year by just, and you can implement this, and it honestly costs less than $50 a month. So very, very powerful. Now, I want to show you an example of how this works, because a lot of companies are doing it, and they're doing it horrendously. So it's important that you train it correctly, and it's trained to as if it's your best. It mimics your best salesperson, and maybe that's you. So it mimics you, and if you're not really good at sales, well, we just use our best practices that we've learned over the years and months. And here's an example. So this is Emma that we've created for a window and door company. So let's see how she fares out when we give her a. Hey Emma, this is Gareth. I'm just curious, what kind of windows do you guys supply? Not yet. I'm just curious. Do you guys offer financing options? Sure, why not? Have you got next Wednesday at 2 p.m. available? All right. So I'll end it there. But basically, if we want to, it depends on what the objective of your company is. You can, like, what usually is the case, the main objective is to schedule an in-home estimate or schedule a showroom visit or whatever it is. And then the secondary, if they don't want to do that, the secondary objective is to get their name and schedule a time, a callback time. And if they don't want to do that, we just get their details. So at least we can chase them up and speak to them directly. Now, we like to say, we inform people that this is an AI receptionist, but you can, just to be transparent, but you can, if you feel like you would like to just keep that anonymous, you can do that as well. Now, as you can see, Emma is very realistic, and that's the way we've trained her, but she's very, very powerful. And this is a game changer for people that just can't, reply to every phone number, answer every call. So that's the AI voice agent. That's one component, but there's many more that we're going to go over. So this is studies. 60%, 60 to 70%. Basically, generative AI can save 60 to 70%. Generative AI could save time by automating tasks by 60 to 70%. So essentially, you employ AI and it stops you from having to hire a sales agent or a salesperson that will have to manually do all these tasks. So you can, you don't have to spend that much money, and they're a little bit more reliable in my eyes. Another basically study says that, and these are from SEMrush, so they're a Google, they help rank on SEO and stuff. So they have insights as to what people are actually searching for. So they're very, very in the know. Salesforce come up with this, that basically 50% of people are using it, and a third of those are using it every day. So AI is here to stay, and we have to make peace with the fact that we have to be involved, otherwise you're going to be left behind. Now, that it's all good and well. We can plug in AI, which I'll explain, different ways in which you can help. But you need to kind of have inflow of leads, or you need to have leads in general. Now, if you don't, that's fine. You need to create up campaigns, and this is how it could potentially work. So, say for instance, you're running a Facebook campaign. Now, if you're running a Facebook campaign, you gotta understand that the way Facebook used to work is completely different now. So you have to be a bit more strategic. So if you're running your Facebook campaigns, you need to understand the people when they're on social media. They're zoning out. They're almost like zombies in a trance, and they're scrolling and they're not paying attention. So in order for you to hook their attention and stop them from scrolling, you need to create what we call pattern interrupt Facebook ads. And I give this example for one of our clients, Expert Windows of Texas, and Todd is here doing a little video with a skeleton which is unique and novel, and it stands out from all the other competitors of what they've been doing, because otherwise they know that you have an agenda, they know you're trying to sell them something. So you need to create that pattern interrupt and bypass the reptilian brain that just zones out essentially. Now, what works with Facebook is creating a authentic offer, and ideally create some scarcity or urgency to make them to take action now, so you can actually get them into your funnel. And this could be something like, just before Christmas, we're offering half price on installations, but make sure to reach out right now because spots are filling up, and this is just a deal before Christmas. And that will encourage people to give their information. So this is where AI comes in. So the funnel, the top of funnel or the traffic source is Facebook. We get them to see our ads, which is important that we create ads that are good, that are unique, novel. Because if you don't do that, everything else downstream is redundant. So it's imperative that you have a good Facebook campaign. Another way to create really good content is using UGC creators, or user-generated content creators. So you can hire these online. What works very well is hiring, I know it's going to sound superficial, and it is, but it's the data, so don't shoot me, but essentially hiring young, aesthetically pleasing women. They generally capture attention a bit more, and also they're good in front of camera. And you can give them a script, tell them to rate out your offer, and that will get people signing up, I can guarantee you. And that's what we're trying to do. When we're doing any campaign, we're trying to get them just to do the next step, and the next step, and let the AI do the rest. So it's what we call micro commitment to achieve the macro result. So they work very well. So the lead is it's given our information because they want to get the offer. And what happens then? The AI kicks in. So the AI funnels them into your CRM, and this can integrate with any existing CRM. You get a notification, hey, a lead has come through, but maybe it's 8 o'clock in the evening and you're having dinner and you just don't really want to reply, or you don't see it. And the reality is, if you don't respond within 5 minutes, it's the likelihood that they'll get a positive response dissipates by about 50%, just because the energy that they had when they seen the ad, it just fades over time. So it's imperative that you strike while the iron is hot, while you're investing in what you got to say. And this is where the AI can come in. So when you're at home with the kids, out fishing, playing golf, doing whatever you want, our AI kicks in, and it can stimulate the conversation or to progress the sale a little bit further. Now, when we're doing our AI, we program them, basically whatever the end result is, but we like to ask a couple of questions, 1 or 2 questions, until then we ask the big question, which is, want to schedule a meeting? Do you want to come in and have a chat? Do you want us to call you back? And questions could be like, what is the main reason you want to replace your windows? We'll keep on the window example for now. And why we do this is people will make purchasing decisions to run away from a pain or to run toward a desired state. Now, pain is a bigger motivating factor. So this is why we like to agitate a pain point, bring it to the surface, what we call kicking the bruised knee. And we will ask them, what are the issues you're facing right now? Give them multiple choice, so it's really easy for them to answer. And then when they answer that, if they answer one question, they're more likely to answer the next one. And then we'll ask them another question. Maybe it's a qualifying question. Hey, just curious, when do you want to install your windows? Is it in the next week, next month, next year, or just research it? And from that answer, we'll be able to understand the level of interest, how the burning desire, whether they want to purchase. And then after that, if they answer it, then we can ask the question of, hey, look, would you like to pencil in a time to speak with Mitch? He is our expert in the game. He's amazing. He'll send you over, he'll give you all the information, non-pushy sales guy, and you have nothing to lose type of thing. See if you want to explore further. And they're like, okay, why not? I've given them a path that'll say, that they won't be sitting on your kitchen table for 3 hours and having to force awkwardly ask them to leave. We kind of preference that in the start. They're more likely to do it. But our AI will do that on autopilot without you having to worry. You can literally turn on a campaign, let it run, and your sales pipeline or your calendars of your sales guys will just get loaded up. And that's the beauty of AI. It's all about making your life easier without hiring anyone else, hiring any staff. So that's Facebook. Maybe another strategy you're using is Google SEO, or maybe Google Ads. Now, when it comes to Google Ads, be mindful. Don't do Google Ads straight to your website. The reason being, your website has a million different links. It has all, your contact about us, all these different things. And what happens is people get decision fatigue or analysis paralysis, and they just get overwhelmed and they don't do anything. So instead, have a streamlined landing page with only 1 or 2 link clicks and there to get in touch with them. Also, what you can do is you can install AI through like a little chat widget. And I have a little example here in the bottom right of the screen. And essentially what that does is, first of all, it can book appointments and do whatever you want it to do, but we call it more of a tripwire. This is for people that are just passively browsing, people that are in the research phase and not in consideration. Because consideration will reach out on their own accord, but the reality is a lot of people, mass market in fact, are in that research phase, and the people that are ready to buy are only a minute amount of and just a small number of people. And that's why a lot of companies fail, because they just focus on the people that are ready to buy right now and there and then, but forget about the people that are the mass market. They forget about longevity of the company. Sacrifice short-term wins for a longevity. And the reality is you should have both. You should think of in the future, and you think about nurturing and working these leads. So what happens, that chat widget, you've probably seen it on the website before. Historically, you would get on the chat, you might ask a question and no one was actively at the chat and monitoring that chat widget. No one will reply, and a lot of people just bounce. But what we can do is we can pop up, give them a little bit of a nudge. We can ask not a provocative question, but a bit of just ask a question, make a joke, some sort of pattern interrupt, and we can get them to start interacting with us. And again, that's the idea, is we want to come in minimally invasive. We just peep in, we get them to kind of speak with us, start the conversation, and then we snowball it into something greater, and into a call or a request a phone call back or whatever it is. And that's for people that are passively on the website. Because if you looked at your Google Analytics, I can guarantee you might have hundreds or thousands of people on your website. But in terms of the number of calls and leads to it, it's really like the ratio is quite small. And that's because a lot of people just don't take any action whatsoever. But they're on your website, so there's someone interested. So the idea is we just don't have somewhere, we call it tripwire, and it sounds kind of a bit malevolent, but it's just a way to initiate that conversation. So AI is fantastic, and it's all again on autopilot. So the other aspect, you can utilize it as well for like door knocking if you do more traditional marketing. You could rock up to a house and you can say to them, look, obviously we're not a good fit for you right now, but would you be interested? If you want, you can scan this QR code. The QR code will go to your landing page. And then the reality is, if someone's on your door, if you're cold calling someone, you're a stranger in their face, and their instinct is to get away from this situation, and they might be a little bit interested, but it's just a bit of a shock to them, and they just want you off their porch essentially. So if you're about to leave and you've got nothing loose, you can ask them, hey, look, if you change your mind, you can just scan this and bring you to our website. You can have a look about our pricing, or you can have a look at what we have to offer. And they'll be happy to do it because they just want you out there. And they scan the code, it brings you to that landing page that we just talked about. And then the AI kicks in then again, and it starts that conversation. And that's so powerful. And this is why I think it is extremely important to think of long term, because nowadays marketing doesn't work in the way it used to be. The trust that people have in marketing campaigns is it's diminished massively. So you have to be a lot more clever and strategic with your marketing dollars. Otherwise, you'll just have to get the same results, you're going to have to spend more marketing dollars, and no one wants to do that. So instead, you think of it in the long term. And I was reading this thing the other day, and it was about a car salesman over in the States, and he was unreal. And they asked him, like, what are you doing to get these numbers? And he would say, I do something that no one else does. And what I do is, I understand that buying a car doesn't happen all the time. 5, 10, 15 years it happens. And he said, well, I'm not going to force something down someone's throat, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that when they want to buy a car, that they think of no one else but me. That I was there for them. I wasn't pushy. I was over the top helpful. And there was no other person in mind that they would think of when they're about to buy a car. The same principle applies when it comes to big ticket items like roofs, windows and doors, remodeling, anything like that. We want to stay with them, and this is what AI does. It allows them to nurture, to follow up, and to be there for them. And then when the timing is right, because when it comes to marketing, timing is absolutely everything. So please bear that in mind. So basically this is an example. They scan the QR code. They go to a landing page like this, one of our clients, Solar Corp, and the landing page just shows we have a calculator there to show them what they can be saving. So it's almost like a no-brainer. They've been thinking, okay, why wouldn't I do this? So that's how you could get like in-person conversations to go digital. Digital is where we want to do it because that's where the AI is, and also digital is where you can track and measure, and what's measured can be improved and what's not cannot be. So that's another component. So right now you could connect your AI to your live chat widget. So passive visitors on your website. You can connect it to a Facebook ad, for instance. You can connect it to Google ad. You can also connect it to your contact form. So just an inquiry, a basic inquiry on your website. And the same principle applies. You can when someone reaches out and they don't hear anything back from you, the likelihood that you're going to get that lead massively lowers. So if they reach out, you get the notification, and instantly they get a text message, or maybe 2 minutes later they get a text message and, hey Michael, I seen you send an inquiry on our website, just curious, is there anything we can help you with, or what would be just to tailor to get back to you as fast as we possibly can you just let us know what you're after? Are you looking for, say for instance, this is electrical, so it's an electrical company. Are you looking for a switchboard replacement, a rewiring, solar panels? And then they will respond, and we keep them engaged and interacted with them. So what that means is then they feel like there's some sort of loyalty. And that transferring the idea, when you ask a question, they have to internalize, they get emotionally connected. People buy through emotions. So that's one of the reasons, but it also stops them from going elsewhere, just to go continuing their Google search and then find your competitor and doing the same thing. So you don't have to go competing on quotes as much. So it can utilize it as well for your contact form. Now, the main thing is, if in a nutshell, what AI does fantastic. It's just the rapid, the speed, the instant replies. People want instant gratifications right now. We're in a world that, we're overstimulated, and to hold someone's attention is like holding hot coals. So we need to reply as fast as we can. And not just about replying, it's also about the follow-up. So someone could come into you, they could reach out from a Facebook ad campaign you could have done, maybe last month, 2 months ago, and you got 50 leads from the campaign. And out of that 50 leads, 10 of them are good, 5 of them became sales, and then you think, 40 of them were useless, and it was bad marketing or bad leads. And we don't believe in bad leads, we just believe in bad timing. So what happens is, remember I was talking about that before, people are just focused on the people who are ready to buy right now, but the other people are where the gold is. So what happens is our AI can speak with them, maybe they don't reply to our AI, that's fine. But what happens, our AI will reach out to them, whatever we program it to say. Maybe it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and it give them a little nudge and just keep them top of mind. And then when the time comes for them to buy, you were there for them, you get the sale. And it doesn't have to be just for sales. It could be, you send off a quote and if you don't hear it back, you might chase up. If you've got a good salesperson, they might chase up, but sometimes people forget, or someone inquires and they forget. Whereas you can program your AI to make sure that there is no lead left behind, and you can tell it, okay, well, if this person doesn't reply in 2 weeks, I want you to reach out and ask them, hey, did you have a look at a proposal? Is there anything in there that you want me to expand or elaborate on? And this will improve not just your communication rhythm, which oozes professionalism. Because that's not the other thing as well. When people land on your website, they see all this and they see that you're moving with the times. They will think, okay, well, this person, this branding, which is part of your branding package, that these guys got it sorted out. Your competitors will literally come onto your website and they'll be jealous. They'll be mirroring what you're doing. So it's very, very, very important. So you get the idea. Our AI is beautiful. It speaks to people in the language of the people, but based with your knowledge. Now, the thing is, when it comes to AI, you got to be mindful. You don't want to give them. You want to give them enough information that teases them, but don't give them everything, because then they feel like they don't want to speak with you. So you have to again program it, teach it effective strategies, essentially. So you scratch the itch, but you don't give them the medicines to get rid of the itch. The other aspect where AI is really, really powerful, and this is one of the game changers, is reactivation and retargeting campaigns. And what does that mean? Well, if you have a list, say for instance, email list, phone number list, and historically, every now and again, someone, especially this time of year, you might send out in Christmas email and say, hey, thank you so much for everything, and we're here, we can help in the new year, or whatever. And those kind of work, they still get some response, but with AI now you can create an activation campaign that reaches out to people and speaks to them and interacts with them with the AI. And this can be done through email, it can be done through a text message, you can do it through voice notes, which is basically dropping a voice mail, or through WhatsApp, whatever you want, it can be done. And it's very, very powerful, because then if you've got a big list, and this works, if you've got more than like 100 people on your list, you can get some really, really good results. I've seen companies with 40,000 emails and text message, and this is just revolution, right? It can, the money you can generate from this, because these guys are warm, they know who you are, you've already conquered, the holy trinity, which is to know, like, and trust you. They already know you, so it's just a trust and likability factor, and also the timing aspect, whether they need what you have, and if your offer or whatever is compelling enough. But this works best if you have an offer, and you could say something like, hey, look, just before closing down before the holidays, we have excess material, because of that we're able to give 40% off the next re-roof, or something like that. And it encourage people to interact, and then the AI will discern whether it's a neutral response, whether it's a positive response, whether it's a stop and leave them alone, and it will funnel them into different pipeline stages until basically they get the action, or a real person comes in and says, okay, well, I can see the transcript. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. All your AI conversations will be transcribed and sent to you, so you know exactly what happened. So when you jump in, you're not, saying things over and over again, the same stuff. You have an understanding of exactly what happened, which is very, very powerful. So reactivation campaigns are actually a game changer. So this is what we kind of offer. We offer marketing as well. We do a lot of extremely good campaigns, hundreds and hundreds of leads per client per month, depending on the budget. You can literally buy your scale. So essentially what we do is create scalable and predictable acquisition systems. But what that's besides the point. What I'm focused on now, what I'm trying to sell to you, not physically sell the idea, whether you go ahead with us or not, that's irrelevant. But you have to get on board with AI. It is non-negotiable. Sorry. So that's what all companies need. You need a holistic funnel, but if you can just focus on the AI and the nurturing and the follow-up, there's a reason they say the fortune's in the follow-up. It really is, because a lot of people just don't make the decision on the first occasion. It takes 5 to 12 touch points, depending on the level of investment. And this is where the gold is. Either people don't have the resources, like the salesperson, to be on the ball and keep constantly following up, and they don't need to anymore. You can install an AI for between $30 a month to $100 a month. It really depends on how much conversations you're having, because that's what the fee, the payment structure is. But if you have more people conversations, it means there's more leads in the pipeline. So yes, it might go up $20 or something, but it means you're having way more conversations. So you're generally generating way more revenue. So it's so powerful. So something like this, yeah, it's going to cost you between about $35 to $100 on average per month, and yeah, that's a big difference between paying $600-700 a week to a salesperson. So if it's of interest, just let me know. If you have any questions in regard to it, just hit me up. I'm more than happy to answer that. But definitely get on the AI train. It is not a trend, it's here to stay. With that, I'll conclude my video, and if you stuck around, thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one.